With this video, I hope to explain the reason that Logicmoo exists and what the premise and new theory is that we're working on. So here's a video of a crow that's going to do something pretty neat using tools. And the narrator is going to suggest a couple things. Anyway, let's watch the video.
There is a clear plastic tube, and at the bottom of this tube there is a small bucket with a handle. And in the bucket there is a food reward. And of course the crow wants the reward. So as you see, the bird initially pokes around with the straight wire and tries to lift up the bucket. It doesn't work. Now it takes the wire out, sticks it into the sticky tape, and bends a hook for itself. Now it has a wonderful tool to get the bucket with. Two things are very important. One is its spontaneous behavior.
You heard that. He said this is spontaneous behavior. He means that it was not something that the crow had done before. This was something that the crow already knew.
It's not a circus trick. Not learned, but spontaneous behavior. Secondly, these crows use tools in the wild to get food.
So let's say the narrator was correct, that the bird was born with knowing how to do this. There is one theory of how this could have happened. You don't have to accept this, but the problem I have with not accepting this is so far I've not ever heard an alternate theory that would actually justify it. Of course there's reflex actions and so forth, but I don't think they could account for the complexity of the animal kingdom. Beavers knowing how to build dams, spiders building webs. The only way we're going to get there is through this alternate theory. I mean, maybe we can get there in other ways, but right now this is the only one that's actually practical that can be worked on today. The animal has already born with a sensory memory of another agent performing these actions. But we know sensory record would be too expensive to be stored on DNA. So we have a symbolic language, Mentalese, which contains instructions that generate the sensory memory. That is, the Mentalese, the visuals, and the auditory and the smells, we have a symbolic language that produces those for us, and so we only have to record the symbolic language. The Mentalese generates a secondary agent taking the bucket out of the well, and the bird copies that agent using its mirror cells to imagine himself as that agent, generate what we call the Tertiary Imagen Buffer, and then the organism themselves creates a secondary Imagen Buffer of themselves doing that, and an imaginary agent that already knows how to do these things.